Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take a topic, really dig into the sources you've shared with us, and try to pull out those golden nuggets of insight.
Hmm.
Today, we're tackling something I think feels incredibly relevant for, well, probably most of us, trying to navigate ambition and just life.
Hmm.
Balancing hustle and self-care, how to grind without burning out.
Yeah.
And we've got a fantastic set of guiding questions straight from one of you listeners that really shape this discussion. They push us a bit deeper, I think.
Oh, absolutely. It's more than just critical. It's a lived reality for so many people today. Our mission in this deep dive is really to explore that tension,
Yeah.
between ambitious effort and essential well-being.
Right.
We're looking for practical wisdom, really, embedded in these questions, stuff that can help you navigate your own journey without, hitting that wall we all dread.
Exactly. So if you've ever felt that constant pull, push harder, achieve more,
Yeah.
but also that desperate need to just stop, to recharge,
Mhm.
or maybe you've wondered how on earth people maintain momentum without feeling just constantly drained. Well, this deep dive is definitely for you.
Yeah.
We're going to try and unpack what really motivates us deep down, how to spot those burnout red flags, maybe the subtle ones before it's too late, and, crucially, how to build habits that sustain both your drive and your well-being.
And we'll use these listener questions as our guide, our compass, really. They ensure we cover the stuff that actually matters on this.
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it then. What is that core energy, that inner fuel? What makes someone, as the question puts it, keep grinding daily?
Hmm.
And maybe just as importantly, how do we personally define hustle and glow? Because those words, they feel like they could mean very different things to different people.
That's a brilliant place to start. And it's fascinating because motivation isn't just one thing, is it? When you look at the source material, it's often this complex mix. You've got intrinsic stuff like uh, genuine passion, the satisfaction of getting good at something, a sense of purpose. But then there are also extrinsic pressures,
Yeah.
money, recognition, maybe proving something to yourself or others.
Yeah, necessity sometimes.
Exactly. Necessity is a huge one. Understanding your specific why, your driver, is step one. Some sources, for example, talk about self-determination theory,
Okay.
which basically says our deepest motivation comes from feeling autonomous, competent, and connected to others. When your grind aligns with those core needs, it feels less like a grind, more like a calling.
That makes a lot of sense. It's the why behind the what.
Yeah.
So what about those terms then, hustle and glow? They sound almost like opposites.
Well, they kind of are, but maybe more like two sides of a coin. The distinction is really important here. Hustle usually implies that intense focus effort, right?
Pushing hard.
Pushing hard, working diligently, maybe making sacrifices now for a future goal. The startup founder burning the midnight oil, the athlete training relentlessly. It's the action.
Got it, the active part.
Yeah. Glow, on the other hand. That's more about the result of having things in balance. It suggests thriving, an inner radiance, that feeling of fulfillment and well-being. It emerges not just from struggle, but from being in flow, having your efforts aligned with your values, and, crucially, feeling sustained.
So hustle is the input, glow is the sustainable output, kind of.
You could put it that way, yeah. For a musician, maybe the hustle is the hours of practice. The glow is the joy during the performance. For a scientist, hustle is the meticulous research. Glow is the thrill of discovery. How you define intense effort and what thriving feels like for you that really sets the stage.
Okay, that distinction is key. But here's the tricky part, isn't it? That hustle, that chase for success,
Yeah.
it can so easily lead to burnout. So what are we actually looking for? Beyond just feeling tired, what are the key signs of burnout we really need to watch for? It's such a common trap, but maybe we don't always see it coming.
It's such an important question because, honestly, the line between tired and burnt out is blurry until you're way over it. So, okay, beyond the obvious things, chronic fatigue, cynicism, feeling detached from your work, feeling like nothing you do makes a difference.
Yeah, those are the classics.
The classics. But some sources point to more insidious early warnings. One is this idea of emotional blunting.
Emotional blunting, what's that?
It's like feeling indifferent, even to things that used to genuinely excite you. A kind of numb disengagement. You might still be going through the motions, maybe even being productive, but the joy, the spark is just gone.
Wow, that sounds bleak.
It is. Another sign is increased irritability.
Yeah.
Not just at work, but snapping at people you care about over small things. That's often your nervous system just being constantly overloaded.
Okay, so it spills over. It's not just work-related.
Exactly. It's a sign your emotional reserves are totally depleted. And, connecting this to the bigger picture, the source material also touches on something interesting, how personal failures can actually become turning points.
How so? Failure feels like the opposite of progress.
Well, yes, but sometimes hitting that wall, maybe even full-blown burnout, can paradoxically be the catalyst you need for real change. We see it as a setback, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
But it can force a reevaluation. A personal failure, like, say, missing a huge deadline because you were exhausted, or a project falling apart because you just couldn't focus anymore. It can be a painful lesson, yes, but a lesson in long-term sustainability.
Ah, okay, so it forces you to ask, what's not working here?
Precisely. What needs to change fundamentally? It pushes you beyond just trying to push through towards learning to push smarter, maybe even redefining what success looks like for you altogether.
That's a powerful reframe, seeing failure as data almost. Okay, so let's get practical then. Understanding burnout is one thing. Preventing it and keeping that glow requires actual strategies. What are those daily habits? The ones that help us stay consistent but don't just overwhelm us.
Right.
And how do we balance productivity and rest without feeling like we're failing at both? These feel like the million-dollar questions.
They really are. And the insights from the questions point towards a holistic approach. It's not just about willpower. It's about how you design your life, really.
Designing your life, I like that.
Yeah. So daily habits. The sources often emphasize routine, but not rigid, more like intentional. Small, consistent actions. Think micro commitments.
Micro commitments.
Instead of saying, I'll exercise for an hour, maybe commit to just 10 minutes. Often you'll do more once you start, but that low barrier makes it less daunting, right? It prevents that feeling of overwhelm.
Reduces the friction to starting.
Exactly. And this ties into self-discipline. We often think of it as this harsh thing, but it's really a tool for intentionality. Discipline helps you create space for both work and rest. It's about setting boundaries that protect your energy.
So discipline isn't just for working harder, it's also for resting properly.
Absolutely. It's discipline to stop working too. And this leads into that classic debate you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Work-life balance versus work-life integration.
Yes. What do the sources say? Is one better?
Well, there's no single answer, which makes sense. Work-life balance often implies this neat separation, right? Clock in, clock out, work is work, life is life.
Clear boundaries.
Clear boundaries.
Yeah.
And that can be great for certain jobs or for people who really thrive on that separation. It allows for full disengagement.
Yeah.
But for many people today, especially with flexible work, remote stuff, being an entrepreneur,
Yeah, it gets messy.
it gets messy. So work-life integration might be more realistic. Blending things, taking a workout break midday, checking emails while the kids are asleep. The goal isn't separation, but maybe a more seamless flow.
Okay.
The key, though, whichever way you lean, is intentionality. Are you choosing how to blend or separate? Or is it just happening to you, leading to chaos?
Yeah.
It's about finding what feels genuinely sustainable and authentic for your life.
Intentionality again. That seems crucial. Okay, but what about those days? We all have them, where motivation is just rock bottom, the energy isn't there, but things still need to get done. How do we push through then?
Yes, the low motivation days.
And related to this, I love this question. What's one underrated habit? Something maybe overlooked that has a big impact on growth. I'm always curious about those hidden gems.
Okay, so low motivation days. The advice often boils down to building momentum. Don't wait for inspiration, just start. There's the 2-minute rule,
Do it if it takes less than 2 minutes.
Exactly. Get small things off your plate, builds micro wins. For bigger tasks, commit to just 2 minutes of focused work. Often, just starting breaks the inertia. Momentum kind of takes over.
Just trick yourself into starting.
Pretty much. External accountability helps too, telling someone your plan, using a tracking tool, and then, dealing with distractions like social media, which is huge.
Oh yeah, the focus killer.
Totally.
Yeah.
So strategies like deep work blocks phone off, notifications silenced, using website blockers, or even just scheduling your social media time instead of letting it interrupt you constantly.
Makes sense. And that underrated habit, the hidden gem.
Right. One that comes up surprisingly often is the 5-minute end-of-day review.
5-minute review. Tell me more.
It's super simple. Before you completely switch off, just spend 5 minutes jotting down, what did I accomplish today? What did I learn, even if it was small? And what are the top 1 or 2 priorities for tomorrow?
Simple, but I can see how that would work.
It creates closure on the day. It reinforces learning. And it means you wake up with clarity, not that, oh my God, what do I even need to do? Feeling. It connects the grind of today to the plan for tomorrow. fostering that sense of progress, which fuels the glow.
That's brilliant. It's like a little bridge between the effort and the feeling of accomplishment.
Okay, we've covered a lot on the mental and practical side. Let's shift gears slightly to the physical. How critical is physical health exercise, sleep, nutrition in sustaining the grind and achieving that glow? It feels foundational.
It's not just foundational, it's absolutely paramount. You can't have sustained high performance or genuine glow without a solid physical base. Your body isn't separate from your mind or your ambition.
It's a vehicle, right? It's the vehicle. Neglecting exercise means lower energy, worse stress management, even poorer thinking. It directly impacts your ability to hustle effectively.
So skipping that workout isn't just about fitness, it's about brain power too.
Exactly. And sleep. Oh man, insufficient sleep is maybe even worse. The sources are unanimous. Chronic sleep deprivation tanks your cognitive function, your decision-making, memory, emotional control.
Makes you grumpy and unfocused.
Totally. Trying to grind on fumes is just wildly inefficient and damaging long-term. It's like running that marathon on flat tires, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
And nutrition, bad fuel in, sluggish performance out. It affects energy, mood, everything.
Right.
So these things, exercise, sleep, nutrition, they aren't luxuries you earn after the hard work. They are non-negotiable parts of the work if you want it to be sustainable and fulfilling. Prioritizing them is prioritizing success.
Prioritizing well-being is success. That really sticks. Okay, as we start to wrap up this fantastic discussion, let's zoom out a bit. Thinking long-term. If you could give your younger self just one piece of advice about hustling, what might it be? These reflective questions often unearth some real gems.
Yeah, they do. It forces you to confront past assumptions, doesn't it? And the advice, looking across the sources and just, well, experience, often circles back to a few things. Number one, almost always is prioritize your well-being much, much earlier.
Don't wait for burnout to learn that lesson.
Exactly. The younger self often thinks hustle means sacrificing everything, non-stop activity. The older, wiser self knows success is a marathon, not a sprint. Sustainability is key. It becomes less about doing more and more about doing what matters effectively with built-in rest.
Shifting from quantity to quality and playing the long game?
Precisely. And it's also about realizing your identity isn't just your output, you know. Don't tie your entire self-worth to your productivity. And maybe learning to say no more often.
That's a big one.
Huge. And this leads perfectly into that final beautiful question from our listener. What does glowing daily truly mean to you beyond just the grind? This is where it all comes together, I think.
Yeah.
Glow isn't just avoiding burnout. It's not just the absence of the negative. It's a proactive state. It's fulfillment.